What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to the Liverpool-Arsenal pre-season match review and tactical analysis video, and I'm so incredibly excited about the Arne Slot football that we are going to witness in this season, because it looks like Arne Slot is bringing a very exciting and slightly new playing style to Liverpool this season, and we have beaten a very strong Arsenal team who kept a lot of their first team players on for the majority of the game, and yet Liverpool played some scintillating attacking football. The two goals that we scored were absolute beauties, magical goals, and we will talk all about it. But let me know, what are your thoughts after the first two preseason games? And this game I think was even more impressive than the win against Real Betis, because this was against a very strong Arsenal team, and Mikel Arteta is a competitor. He wanted to win this game. That's why he kept a lot of his first team players on in the second half against pretty much a Liverpool Youth Academy side that played in the second half. And Mo Salah and Fabio Carvalho scored the goals that won Liverpool the game. And this was Liverpool's starting lineup. For the first time, finally, we could see Diogo Jota in attack as the focal point, as the number 9, and you could see instantly how much that helped Fabio Carvalho and Mo Salah, because now Carvalho had a clear role, a free role basically on the left wing. He could bomb up and down the left wing, and he even scored a brilliant goal. Harvey Elliott was absolutely stupendous in this game. He gave 2 of the best assists of his career. And the Mo Salah goal is the trademark Arne Slot type of football that we want to play. It's very risky, I'm not gonna lie. Kelleher a couple of times was caught out hanging onto the ball too long. Kelleher is not as good, of course, with his feet as Alisson is. So I'm hoping that with Alisson, Liverpool will play even better football, because, Liverpool play deep in their own half formation, which basically Kwanzaa and Safenberg is out the either side of the goalkeeper, and they are baiting the opposition to press them. And that's when, when the opposition goes to press them, that's when Liverpool want to get around the press, either with a long through ball or with a pass through the middle to one of the double pivots. Today it was Dominic Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, and especially Szoboszlai, who played as a deep lying playmaker today, which was a very interesting new role for him. I really hope that during the season, once we sign a defensive midfielder, Szoboszlai will play further forward, because I think he can play this role, but further forward he is much better, and he can get goals and assists. But in this role he was actually pretty good today. And Kelleher gets the ball after a couple of passes in and around the box. Arsenal are pressing Liverpool very high, and the first 10 minutes actually Arsenal pressed us so high that we lost the ball a couple of times in our own halves, and it was very risky, very dangerous, and we could have conceded from those moments. So Arne Slot, of course, still needs to perfect this style, he still needs to tweak it. But when Kelleher launches the ball towards the halfway line, Diogo Jota heads the ball down to Harvey Elliott, and Mo Salah, who actually started the attack by passing it back to Conor Bradley and then to Kwanzaa and then back to Kelleher, and Salah races clear on the wing, and Harvey Elliott first time passes it through the Arsenal defense behind their back line, and Mo Salah races clear. He leaves Gabriel for dust, and then he slots it home into the far corner. Absolutely brilliant goal. The whole build-up play, the little passes, and then the kick by Kelleher, Jota's header, and then Elliott's through ball was just chef's kiss. An absolute perfect Arne Slot type of goal. I really loved it, and I think Liverpool overall well deserved their win, because we had 4 shots on target, 3 big chances created. We scored 2 of them, and yes, Arsenal dominated possession in the second half. Liverpool defended in a low block, but even Arne Slot actually praised our second half performance, because even though Arsenal had a lot of better players on the pitch, Liverpool defended very resolutely and really restricted Arsenal to very few chances. Even the goal that Arsenal scored was like a half chance, which Tsimikas just switched off, but we will talk about that a little bit later. But the Liverpool youngsters did well. But let's look at the first half statistics. So first half, Liverpool played much better than Arsenal. We had 8 shots, 3 shots on target, 3 big chances created, all in the first half. 2 of them we scored, 1 we missed. Diogo Jota hit the post from a big chance, and he also squandered another great chance. But you have to excuse Jota, he's a very rusty. He hasn't played a lot of football in the last 4 or 5 months. He was a substitute at the Euros. He played one half today, and once he gets the match sharpness up, then he will be hopefully back to his old best, finishing these chances off. As you can see in the second half, Arsenal dominated possession. They had 7 shots, but they couldn't really create big chances, and that's a credit to the Liverpool defending. And I think defensively we look solid under Arne Slot. We kept a clean sheet against Betis. We restricted Arsenal to very few chances. And let's talk about Harvey Elliott's performance. He got 2 assists today. The second one was a brilliant lobbed, dinked through ball to Fabio Carvalho, who hits it on the volley or on the half volley. Absolutely stupendous goal. And the build-up play was also magical. Liverpool pressed Arsenal high. We got back to possession, got back the ball, won the ball back from the high press, and then the ball gets to Szoboszlai, who does a little trick, gets past 2 Arsenal players, passes to Harvey Elliott, who again, after taking a touch, sees Fabio Carvalho running through, beats the offside trap, dinked over the top through ball, and Fabio Carvalho slams it on the volley or on the half volley into the back of the net. And Harvey Elliott created 4 chances overall to his teammates, and he could have even created more. There was an instance where he used Mo Salah as a decoy, trying to cut in on his left foot, but the Arsenal player dispossessed Harvey Elliott. If he slips Mo Salah in, that could have been maybe 3-0. But yeah, Harvey Elliott is improving. It looks like that Harvey Elliott had a breakthrough season last season. He got so many assists and quite a few goals as well. But this season, I think Harvey Elliott will absolutely shine for Liverpool. And it's great that we have these youngsters like Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, maturing, growing into first-team players. And they are Liverpool fans, and Harvey Elliott came from the Fulham Academy. But since he's 16, he has been playing for Liverpool. And he's a boyhood Liverpool fan. So if we can develop Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones into great players or maybe even world-class players one day, that would be fantastic, because these guys would never want to leave Liverpool in a million years unless they are pushed out of the door. Harvey Elliott also had 5 final passes into the final third, 2 accurate long balls from 2 recoveries, and this will be a huge season for Harvey Elliott, I have a feeling. And Fabio Carvalho said Arne Slot asked him to play on the wing, because even though Fabio Carvalho admitted that he sees himself as an attacking midfielder, as a number 10, that's his best position according to Fabio Carvalho. But because of Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho is asked to play on the wings, because Fabio Carvalho is not as good as Harvey Elliott in this playmaking role. He's drifting in, he's making plays, he got 2 assists and 4 chances created in one half of football, because Harvey Elliott got substituted, I think, early in the second half. Jero Kwanzaa also had a magnificent game. This kid honestly is the real deal. He could one day become as good as Virgil van Dijk, or near as good as Virgil van Dijk, and that's a big statement from me, but I have a feeling that this guy is going to the very top, and that's why Liverpool under any circumstances didn't want to sell him. If you wanted to buy a talent of Kwanzaa's quality, he would cost £50 million, just like how Arsenal paid £50 million for Ben White. And he's not even on the level of Kwanzaa, in my opinion. Kwanzaa is already better at centre-back. Ben White is playing right-back, of course, at Arsenal, so it's hard to compare them. But Kwanzaa made a fantastic recovery after Arsenal broke into our box on our right side, Arsenal's left wing side, and they cut it back. Odegaard cut it back to the middle to Jesus, and Kwanzaa slid in and prevented basically a goal. And he made 83% of his passes. He had 5 passes into the final third, 2 accurate long balls from 4. He made 3 clearances, 6 defensive actions, 5 recoveries, 4 duels won out of 4. So Kwanzaa won every single duel of his against Arsenal, and he is rock solid. And Harvey Elliott and definitely Curtis Jones is impressing Arne Slot in pre-season, and it's needed because Liverpool are missing basically a first team of players. Apart from Szoboszlai and Mo Salah, our first team is missing the whole first team that usually plays. And Harvey Elliott was also playing a lot last season. That's why I said it was his breakthrough season, because apart from one Liverpool player, he played the most games out of all the Liverpool players, sometimes as a substitute, sometimes as a starter. But it feels like he needs to really kick on this season, as he views the arrival of Arne Slot as a chance to start afresh. And if Harvey Elliott can impress Arne Slot in pre-season, he could even start the Premier League season in the team in the starting 11. I mean, Elliott constantly got on the ball. He looked dangerous, even trying a Rabona pass to Lucas Stevenson in the second half to show his confidence was skyrocketing. And Sepp van den Berg also was pretty impressive today. It was a nonchalant, very professional performance. Kwanzaa shone brighter than Sepp van den Berg. And I can understand why Van den Berg maybe wants to move on, because he is now 4th choice centre-back at Liverpool. He made the bizarre claim that he's getting priced out of a move because Liverpool's valuation of 20 million is too high. But I think that's fair, because Sepp van den Berg was a very solid Bundesliga defender last season, and he has improved a lot. And I think the going rate for a player like him should be around 15 to 20 million. If nobody is paying that for Sepp van den Berg, then Liverpool have no obligation to sell. That's their decision. And let's look at other young defenders. Dean Huijsen, who played less than 10 times for Juventus. He went from Juventus to Bournemouth for 20 million. Like Taylor Harwood-Bellis also went to Southampton for 20 million. Crazy prices for very inexperienced young defenders. Sepp van den Berg has quite a lot more experience than these guys. 20 million for Sepp van den Berg is reasonable, according to Louis Steele, a journalist working in and around Liverpool FC, reporting on Liverpool. 2 seasons in the Bundesliga, 2 seasons before that in the Championship. So Sepp van den Berg has 4 seasons of really good experience under his belt. So 20 million I think is a pretty fair valuation, and he's also 22 years old only, so still his best years are ahead of him. And Harvey Elliott actually described Arne Slot's philosophy as a typical Dutch style, and he was right. That's not quite total football, but some of the play was liquid attacking, especially in the first half. Players were interchanging positions, left, right and center. Dominik Szoboszlai in the build-up was a deep-lying playmaker, but he would also pop up in the channels and make long busting runs into the box. Elliott played both as a number 10, as a number 9. Trainioni came on at halftime for Jota. He popped up all over the field in the second half. He was a shining light last week against Betis, and he had some nice moments here too. But the main takeaway from the game is that Arne Slot's style is very easy on the eye. It's very good to watch. It's fluid football. It's vertical, and it is worth noting that if the system looks reasonably polished already, better is surely set to follow, with, as I said, 9 of the starting 11 of players at Liverpool still missing from pre-season. So imagine when all of these players will be back. Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz, Gravenberch, McAllister, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson and Alisson. All missing. So a proper starting 11 of players missing from Liverpool, still from Liverpool's pre-season. And we are playing this well against a very good Arsenal team who almost won the league last season. The future is very promising, very, very bright. And also, we haven't made any signings yet, which I'm sure that we will. I'm pretty confident in that. Jota is still getting up to speed, and McAllister and Gravenberch now joining the preseason tour, and the rest of the guys will join back when we fly back to Liverpool. We play Man United on the weekend as well, which I'm really looking forward to because that will be a very interesting and very electric game as well. Of course, Arsenal missed some players. Declan Rice, I think, was the biggest miss because Thomas Partey didn't look really up to speed. He looked pretty slow. Bukayo Saka, Ramsdale and David Raya also were granted extra rest after the England campaign. But the wave after wave of Liverpool attacks penetrated through the midfield of Arsenal with ease. And the backline, the centre-backs, Kivior and Gabriel, and especially Zinchenko, who looked absolutely scared of Mo Salah at every moment that Salah got the ball. Zinchenko looked terrified. That backline, it will not be the first choice backline of Arsenal, but it didn't look as assured as we were used to seeing in the Premier League. Arsenal had the best defense last season, and Thomas Partey was overrun in midfield. He couldn't subside the Liverpool pressure forward, which left his backline exposed, and Zinchenko's positioning was also not really great. Of course, this is not the usual team of Arsenal, but it was pretty close to full strength because Kai Havertz started, Odegaard started, and Kai Havertz scored after Odegaard did a really good dummy. Tsimikas' defending wasn't really great. Endo came on in the second half, and again he got a yellow card, and again it looks like because Endo is already 30, it's a lot harder for him to adapt to this new playing style, and it will maybe take a few months for Endo to adapt to this new style under Arne Slot. But let's see what happens in the Liverpool Man United game. Really looking forward to that as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.